Hey, what's going on, guys? Jean Esther with artcorner.net, and today I just wanted to bring to you guys a special video on how to create a very own canvas. So what you're seeing right now is what I'm cutting is a 1x1 pieces of lumber, and I'm cutting it in 45 degrees angle. So you need a special saw for this one, and I just so happen to have one. So what I did first is basically cut the ends of each. Well, first I cut each length about the same. I think they were about 36 inches, and I cut the ends, as you can see there, in 45 degree angles because it's important, because when you put them together just like that, you get a nice corner edge, and it makes a perfectly great canvas. So that's what you wanted to do. So that's the first step, is cutting your edges, your ends, evenly on 45 degree angles, and you'll get a nice corner edge, almost like a frame. So I had a few more, and I'm just gonna go through that same process of cutting each end 45 degree angle. And this saw works out really well. It's a circular saw, and it actually has a pivot, so you can actually do different angles. So if you have a saw like that, it definitely helps. Alright, once you have your wood cut out, you want to add adhesive or some sort of wood glue to your edges, and hopefully get a good bond to the corners. So I didn't have any wood glue, but I did have some all-purpose glue, and what I'm doing here is attaching the corners together to get a good bond and for our canvas. So it's really a simple step, but just make sure that you get a good corner edge with that seal. So once I have that together, I get a screw, and I basically screw all the corner edges that you'll see in a few minutes. Alright, now we're screwing the corners there, and basically what you want to do in this step is just be careful, because it does shift a little bit. So if you have another pair of hands, it really helps in this process. But what you want to do is just pick a side and screw right through the wood onto the other wood, so you get a good corner. And it's as simple as that. Some parts can get a little tough, but we had a good step for this. So what we did next is we took some extra wood and decided to create extra brace and support for our frame. So we went back downstairs and we cut out 45 degree angles of some extra wood that we had. They're all around the same length. Make sure they're all the same length, and cut them in 45 degrees. It really is a great way to help support the canvas, especially if you're working with large canvas. So I had a few more to go, and once you have them all four, that's plenty to get the support on all four sides. Just like that. And another important thing is you got to make sure that they're cut on opposites, on the same side as well. So opposites and on the same side, because as you see here, placing them in the middle on the corners, it gives a great support. So it gives it a great rigid and firm frame. So at that point, I would look for long screws to see if I can do the same process by drilling on the outside or screwing on the outside. But we had a better idea. So what happened was we did the same process, added the glue, and instead of using a longer screw, we decided to work with the same screw, and a great solution by that, because we thought at first it was too short, but we figured out that if we work it on the inside like that, it will go through the other screw, but doing it the other way, it just doesn't work. So we decided to go through the inside, and it worked out very well at that point. So a little bit of ingenuity and creativity, we worked it out. So that's what you see here. We just screwed the inside, and it worked out perfectly. just like that. Sure, there's other ways you can do it as well, but as long as you create a good rigid frame, it definitely helps. So we came up with this solution, and it worked out pretty well for this style frame. So, but for different dimensions, you know, you can work with different solutions, but it worked out pretty well. We had a really stable frame, and now we're ready to throw some canvas on. All right, so we rolled out some canvas that we bought. Good roll of canvas, unprimed. And the thing with canvas is you got to give it enough slack so you can kind of wrap it around. So give yourself plenty of canvas on all sides. And once you have enough, you just take your time and cut it out. Just fold it over, and you want to kind of give your canvas a little bit of a stretch to get all the wrinkles out, and make sure it's as flat as possible. And start by taking one side and folding it over the wood, over the frame of the wood, just like that. And what you didn't see was we started out by stapling some of the centers first, and then once you get to the corners are very tricky. There's different ways you can kind of fold over canvas, and there wasn't, you know, there's not one particular way that we used, but we just used the way that worked for us, that just gave one, you know, as little seam as possible and as straight as possible, and it worked out pretty well. So once we had a good corner, we worked it out pretty well. We had one side already stapled out and stretched, so the corners were ready to go. And once you have the corner, you just work your way down to the other side. Actually, we actually pulled and worked the opposite side, and now we're just working that side's corner, so it all meets together. And once you have enough slack, you can just pull it and stretch it, and now you're going to get a nice flat canvas on the bottom and a nice tight secured fit right there, just like that. And during the last part, you know, it's always good if you have an extra pair of hands, if you have someone helping you, it really makes the process easier. All right, with a few more staples at the corners, there you have it, guys, a finished canvas, fully stretched from beginning to end. If you guys want a list of the materials that I use, I can leave it in the description box below.
Well, alright guys, that's it for me, Jean Esther with artcorner.net, and I'll see you guys in the next video.